Hello there everybody, my name is Bloomer Brown and welcome to episode 2 of Seasons at Oakfield for Farming Simulator 19. And yeah, we've had quite a bit of extreme weather overnight, everything from rain and snow to high winds. And taking a quick look at the weather forecast for today, so let's see. Today cuts off here. Yeah, the temperatures, or at least the average temperature, is going to improve as the day goes along. But it does look like it's going to end up cooling down a little bit overnight. So it's probably going to actually be into Thursday or even Friday when we start to see something of an improvement. Which doesn't really bode well for us, because overnight I had a call from one of our neighbours, Mr. Mason Newton, I think. Let's actually have a look in here. Yes, Mason Newton, who's offering us almost £5,000 to do some work on field number 36, actually, which is very close by to us. It's literally just across the road. But something does feel a little bit wrong about heading out to cultivate the ground while there is, such a covering of snow about. Now, as it happens, the contracting system has actually cleared all the snow off field 36 as soon as I accepted the contract. Not entirely sure why that is, but yeah, I mean, the ground is not frozen. It is at 3 degrees. It's just, it does feel a little bit weird heading out to cultivate ground that is completely covered in snow, albeit it's probably only a very light dusting. So what I think I'm going to do is I am going to delay doing that contract for a little while, perhaps until the afternoon when things warm up a little bit. This morning I think I want to get started on bringing in some of the stuff we are going to need for the livestock, or more specifically the cattle. So let's jump into the shop and see what we are going to need. So I think I am going to end up keeping this to the absolute basics. I do believe we can sell milk automatically at night, at midnight I think. Let me just check into that. Yeah, not entirely sure on that. So what I think I am going to end up doing is purchasing one of the milk transport, the fluid transport containers, which can of course handle both our water needs as well as transporting milk if we need to. Yeah, we are going to purchase that for 25,000. Because we are getting into cattle, we are also going to need a feed mixer, and I think we're just going to go for the smaller coon. It does mean that we will have to do probably a little bit of extra filling up, but I haven't messed around with this particular one yet. Yeah, I think we are just going to go for the coon, and of course we are going to need some kind of an animal transport, and I would like to get something that is tractor pullable. I think we are going to go for the legal animal transport trailer, and we're going to match it to the John Deere tractor by getting ourselves a green roof on it. And this is mostly just to avoid the cost of having the animals transported up to the farm, and make things a little bit easier when it comes time to sell off any livestock that we are looking to sell off. And of course we need a bale trailer. There are some cheaper options here courtesy of a mod. I'm not entirely sure what the difference between the two of these are, or is it a case that I have two instances of the mod installed? That is something I will have to look into. Yeah, and being the cheapest model, I think that is what we're going to end up going for as a bale trailer at the moment. And I think we're going to go for the Trelleborg tire, since it isn't costing anything extra to have them fitted. So purchase that for 10,000. and we're going to also end up purchasing a round bale handler, because we are going to need it for dealing with the silage bales. I mean, technically I suppose I could stab them with the pallet forks and lift them up, but that is something I kind of end up doing quite a lot, and I haven't messed around a hell of a lot with the round bale handler, and it might be nice to try and do things properly. Because of course, you wouldn't want to be stabbing the wrap on your silage bales, with a fork, because it's obviously when you're loading them and transporting them from one place to another, because of course it's going to make your silage go off. So yeah, might as well get hold of one of these and try to experiment with that. And because of course we are running out of money to do anything with, I am, going to pump up our loan just a little bit further. So yeah, we are 145k in the hole at this stage, and we'll probably be able to make that up pretty soon, or at least I hope we should. We will be getting into contracting and stuff as soon as possible. So before we get the cattle in, we are obviously going to need some bales to feed them with. Yeah, I am going to just go ahead and buy 8 bales for 15,000. Should we buy a little bit more? Yeah, I think we're just going to leave it at 8 for today, and we're also going to purchase 8 round bales of hay, which are going to need to be brought back to the farm pretty quickly. I don't want to end up leaving them out in the snow. So yes, I think we need to get ourselves sorted out with some tractors and make our way down to the shop and get that equipment picked up. Yeah, and something I have actually noticed while messing about on this map a little bit is that the early morning traffic does seem to be a little quieter than, say, the afternoon traffic. So it does actually seem as though the time of day plays a role in how the traffic reacts, which is kind of interesting and means that we can kind of set out doing some slightly more awkward jobs at quieter times of the day. And yeah, we are just passing field number 36 at the moment, and as you can see, the snow has been cleared from the map since we basically took on that contract, so which is a little bit interesting. But yeah, as I say, I would like to see some of the other snow start to disappear or melt away a little bit before I attempt that contract. It may mean that we end up failing the contract, but I'm not entirely sure how that actually works, so it's going to be interesting to see. So it seems that everything is here, bar my round bale handling equipment. I have no idea where that is. Let's have a look. Did we not purchase it? Yeah, for some reason that didn't seem to actually go through. It's possibly because there is no more room for things to spawn here, so let's actually pull the bale trailer out of the way and make a little bit of room so that can actually spawn. So we are still sliding about on the snow. We can just connect up and start to push this out of the way a little bit, and perhaps it will spawn. Oh dear, and it is of course one of these trailers that I really struggle with, so let's get ourselves, I think we're just going to pull forward rather than try to deal with that at the moment. And yeah, still no sign of that spawning, so I think we're going to actually have to go in and buy it again. We probably did get an error message and I just didn't read it at the time. So jet and buy. Purchase at the store. And there we go. Yeah, it was a spawning issue. So let's start by getting those hay bales in particular loaded up onto the bale trailer, just in case it does start to snow or rain again. I'd rather not have them get too wet. And so yeah, after a couple of thrills and spills with this particular piece of equipment, I think I have finally figured out how to use it, and that it does actually make sense to start at the back of the trailer as opposed to up front where I was trying to do it. So yeah, just one more bale to try not to destroy our equipment. Yeah, the turning circle on the John Deere does kind of make all of this just a little bit more difficult, and you know, I am really out of practice. So while we have actually purchased this a fine round bale grabber, I don't see myself making a hell of a lot of use of it from here on out, but I decided I might as well mess around with these things anyway, because it adds a little bit of role play, and I kind of like figuring out how to use all of these things. And there we go, at last the trailer is loaded up. One major issue with this particular trailer is that it doesn't seem that we can put on the ratchet straps, so it may be a case... So it may have been a case that there was a bug with it and a new version was released. Fortunately, we can put on the straps from inside the tractor cab, so that is going to make sure that everything is going to stay in position. But yeah, it is kind of unusual that we can't get them to activate from outside. But yeah, I'm not going to worry about that. So yes, we are probably going to end up taking 2 trips to get this back to the farm. I think I'm going to start by taking the feed mixer and the bales along with our new bale grab, and I'll come back down with the 2 tractors again and pick up our animal trainer and our feed mix wagon. Oh dear. Well, that's a little bit weird. Oh dear. Yeah, I'm guessing there are some slight issues with this trailer. Okay, yeah, I am calling bugs on this trailer, and yeah, before it launches me into the stratosphere, I think I'm going to undo the straps, and yeah, I think I'm just going to disconnect it and sell it from my garage as quickly as possible. Let's see, owned items. Let's find that bale trailer. It does kind of explain why I do have... Yeah, we're going to get rid of that. It does kind of explain why I have, 2 versions of it. The best way I think to deal with this, and the most convenient way to deal with this, is to possibly head into baling technology, and we are going to just grab the Ursus, which conveniently carries 8 bales, and I am going to lease it. And yes, I am going to do a little bit of cheating to get the bales back to the farm. Let's just switch to the John Deere and take him off follow me, because the traffic is going to cause some issues with this, so I need to get this cleared up before they knock my bales around and I end up losing some of them. So let's just pick up our Ursus here, and we can get those bales cleared out of the way. And yeah, technically this is cheating, but bugs are bugs, and when a bug pops up like that, I am not too worried about doing a little bit of cheating to rectify the situation. And yes, we've made it safely back to the yard, and it's time to find somewhere to store these bales. And yeah, I was kind of thinking of trying to keep equipment up in this area, but I really need a shed with a little bit of height, and yeah, I think we're going to end up for now just storing them in this particular shed, and hopefully when the map does update, no sign of an update just yet, but hopefully when it does update, it should hopefully be a case that the bales will be perfectly safe in this shed. So yeah, I'm just going to drop them here for now, and wide drop, and we can pull forward and head back for the second load of bales, and yeah, hopefully get the roadside cleared up, though I think the worst of it is out of the way at this stage. And yeah, we do have a couple of pieces of other equipment to pick up as well. And yeah, as I was making my way back with the John Deere and the milk container, the thought did occur to me that if I were to fill this with water, I am probably not going to be able to empty it, and as a result of that, I'm not going to be able to basically transport the milk for sale. So it's a case that I'm probably going to have to end up picking up a water bowser as well, which isn't too much of an issue. And I think just for the time being, I'm going to end up dumping that there, and yeah, we'll get the rest of the equipment back to the yard and start sorting it out a little better. And so yes, I've finally gotten the bales transported back to the farm, and since we are in the area, I decided I might as well head up and try to pick up some cattle now. So yeah, I'm going to take a quick drive up to the animal market and yeah, load up on our first load of cattle, and then we can head back to the farm and do a mix of total mix ration and get them fed and watered and see how we go from there. So now the question, of course, is where do we unload these cattle? Unfortunately, the trigger is hidden by snow at the moment. Okay, yeah, so it seems to be at this gate here. Let's see if we can actually open it. Oh, we can. That's pretty nice. So I am going to I actually think I'm going to end up making up a mix first, just so that we have it on hand. But we can, of course, pull the trailer down here and just leave them in it for a couple of minutes. Okay, more bugs. I'm hoping that the bugs didn't come from those bales and were actually from the trailer. I'm beginning to think that perhaps there may be something wrong with my bales. Yeah, a lot of weird issues today. I'm hoping it's not compatibility issues that are going to come back and bite me at some point. Because yeah, that would be really rather unfortunate, but I'm having no end of trouble in picking these bales up. It seems like they weigh far more than they actually should. So I'm gonna have a go with the pallet forks and just see if we can pick up a bale or two and get... Yeah, that seems to work a little better. Yeah, not entirely sure what's going on with that. But I'm sure I will find out at some stage. And there we go, the cows are unloaded and they are out in the field. Hopefully they're grazing actually. I'm not entirely sure, I'll have to look back over some footage, but it does look as though they have started to graze down the grass just a little bit. And that is enough to keep them satisfied for now. Let's take a look at how they are doing. So they have enough total mix ration. Their cleanliness is at 100%. We do need to get them some water. And I am not entirely sure if we need to give them some hay and silage as well. Though we may need to, just to keep them healthy. So I may throw in a bale of silage as well before we move along, but I need to get some water into them first. I'm going to drop that trailer there for now, and we can go over and get our Bowser up. And I have already filled it with water, of course, just to have it on hand. So let's get connected up to that and give them a little bit of a drink. And I'm guessing that this is their water trough. There we go. Yep, we have hit the trigger for water, so we're going to unload that. And they take only a tiny amount. Of course, there are only 6 of them at the moment. So let's take a look at how they're doing. Yeah, they have enough total mixed ration. I may just get them a bale of hay as well, because or a bale of silage or something rather, because I think the system seems to work a little bit differently than it did in FS17. And as I say, I really haven't spent a lot of time messing about with the animals, bar the chickens in FS19 so far. So I'm just going to end up dropping the Bowser here. And yeah, it seems that the total mixed ration doesn't satisfy them. So I am actually going to grab a bale of silage or something as well and just fill it into the trough. So yes, their cleanliness is at 100%, their water is up. We're not going to be giving them straw because we don't want to create manure. We've got them fed and they have enough hay and silage, and we already have 11 litres of slurry. So yeah, things are looking good. And so with the sun making its way towards the horizon and our cattle at long last taken care of, I think that is where I am going to end up leaving today's episode. And with that, I am going to say thank you very much for tuning in. You have been watching Bloomer Brown on YouTube, and I will see you next time.